For Indigenous people, this gun grab program threatens our Aboriginal inherent and treaty rights to live off the land. Our hunting rifles are not the Prime Minister's political props. They are part of our way of life and tradition, passed down through generations rooted in responsibility to feed our families. Confiscating lawful guns while smugglers pour illegal guns across the border shows how badly the Liberals have lost their way. How can judges, police officers, and others involved in law enforcement and justice trust his public safety minister when he says one thing behind closed doors and another thing in this chamber? The $742 million wasted here can fund 5,000 police officers, 37,000 treatment beds, but instead Canadians are feeling less safe and Indigenous peoples have our rights threatened. The public safety minister is failing. The minister and the Prime Minister must be held accountable, and Canadians deserve real safety, not Liberal games. Will the Prime Minister do the right thing and replace the public safety minister?
Yeah.
The Liberals have increased crime, firearm crime, by 136%. They waste money. They're going after hunters and farmers. Meanwhile, they're taking money away from border and police services. Through all this, they've caused this crime wave. The public safety minister admitted that it's not working, the program won't work, but it's for electoralist reasons.
The minister has admitted that going after farmers and hunters' rifles is not going to fight crime. So the only reason to do this is politics. If he was telling the truth, then why not reverse? If not, why isn't he fired?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the gun registry, what the government is doing with the gun registry is putting in place a much more efficient way, for Canadians to voluntarily return prohibited firearms, for fair compensation. This government is going to do it right.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
But his own Minister of Public Safety says this government is doing it wrong. He was caught on tape saying the program won't work, and yet they are going to rip $750 million away from our border and police services to harass duck hunters and farmers by banning the firearms they use. This approach has led to a 130% increase in gun crime under the Liberals' watch. The police say they won't implement it. The minister says it's a bad idea, but they're only doing it for political reasons. Why is the Prime Minister putting lives at risk for politics?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I don't even know where to begin with that.
That's right.
First off, I don't know where to begin because of all the misrepresentations in that intervention. The person who's putting lives at risk is the Leader of the Opposition who's voted against every single piece of gun legislation. What the Minister of Public Safety is doing it right. He's correcting an inefficient system to provide Canadians with fair...
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, I have voted against the Liberal policy of reducing criminal sentences for those who use guns to commit extortion, to commit robbery, and to commit other serious offences, while voting in favour of locking up criminals who use guns in the commission of crime. The police say that 90% of crime is done with guns that come illegally over the broken Liberal border. The Liberal public safety minister admits that the Prime Minister is only playing politics. Will the Prime Minister stop the politics, fire the minister, and leave Grandpa Joe's hunting rifle alone?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Once again, Mr. Speaker, I will have too little time to address all the issues, but let me go back to something the Leader of the Opposition said, which he described farmers, duck hunters using AR-15s to hunt. I don't see that. I don't see that in my great province of Alberta. I also also know that what the Minister of Public Safety and this government are doing is tightening the border. Bill C2, will the opposition stand up and support the tightening of the border? As he claims
Good question.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
And there, the Prime Minister just admitted that he doesn't even know what his gun ban applies to. That's right. For example, this gun ban applies to 10 and 12 gauge shotguns, which are used by the great people of Alberta and all Canadians for duck hunting. It applies to 70 22 caliber firearms that are used by almost every farmer to go after gophers. Will the Prime Minister stop wasting money banning gopher guns, read his briefing notes so that he knows what he's talking about, and fire that incompetent minister?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, what this government is doing is providing fair compensation for Canadians to return illegal firearms, illegal assault rifles, and what this government is doing is proposing the biggest tightening of our border in our nation's history. We want the support of the opposition to make sure that happens.
That's a very good point.
The Right Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
And he has absolutely no idea what guns he's banning, Mr. Speaker. He's banning 22s. These are known as farmers' guns to go after gophers and other pests. One of them is even called the plinkster, because that's the sound it makes when it bounces off a pop can. The Prime Minister is wasting precious border and police resources, harassing farmers, banning duck hunters, when real gun crime rages in our streets. Once again, will he pick up a briefing note so that he knows what he's talking about and go after the real criminals?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the Leader of the Opposition has his briefing notes. The RCMP has their experience. The RCMP vets this list, decides this list, what are real guns and what are assault rifles, what should be kept off the streets. That is the process, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister's knowledge bank on this subject is now depleted, so we'll move on to something else. The subject of food prices.
What do you call a person who says one thing in public and then the exact opposite thing in private? Because that's exactly what this public safety minister did. He called the Liberal $750 million gun buyback a politically motivated scam. His #1 job is to keep Canadians safe. Violent crime is up, gun crime is up, and 90% of gun crimes, police say, come from illegal guns. His main plan he calls a scam. This is stunning incompetence. Why hasn't he been fired?
The Honourable Minister of Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, I was proud to launch the assault-style firearm compensation program in Nova Scotia. We look forward to expanding it across Canada. This is part of a broader plan to ensure that our guns are off our street. It includes changes to the criminal code. It includes resources at the border, $1.3 billion investments at the border. And, Mr. Speaker, Bill C2 is right in the House today. I invite the party opposite to support us so that we can get that through Parliament.
The Honourable Member for Dufferin-Caledon.
Except in a private conversation, this minister said the exact opposite thing. He called the Liberal gun buyback a politically motivated scam. Now, imagine what could be done with this $750 million. How many police officers could be hired? How many border officers could be hired? How many scanners could be purchased to find the illegal guns coming in from the United States? And yet, he's doing nothing. He's pushing forward with his politically motivated scam. Canadians deserve better. They deserve to be safe. This is staggering incompetence. Why won't the Prime Minister fire him?
The Honourable Minister of Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, staggering incompetence is when you think that AR-15s can be used for hunting and for farming, Mr. Speaker. We have brought forward a very important plan in Nova Scotia. We look forward to expanding it across Canada, Mr. Speaker. We look forward to doing that in the near future. We're going to be investing in 1,000 new RCMP as well as 1,000 new CBSA officers, Mr. Speaker. We will ensure that our borders are safe and guns are off our streets.
The honourable member for Barrie South Innisfil.
600 foreign nationals with criminal convictions are roaming around Canadian cities. More than half are on the CBSA's wanted list, and their whereabouts are unknown. Over 70% of these non-citizen criminals have been convicted of serious crimes, including sexual assault. The Public Safety Minister has one job, and that's to keep Canadians safe. On this and many other issues, he is failing miserably. And it's really hard to believe that the Prime Minister just yesterday said he has confidence in the Minister. Why won't he fire this Minister? Because not doing so calls into question the Prime Minister's judgment.
The Honourable Minister of Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, this year the Canada Border Service Agency has removed over 20,000 people, Mr. Speaker. This is one of the largest removals in Canadian history. CBSA will continue to do his job, Mr. Speaker. We will ensure that we're hiring another 1,000 new CBSA officers to strengthen the border and to ensure enforcement, and we will continue to make sure that our borders are safe. We will, at the same time, ensure that guns are off our streets, Mr. Speaker.
The honourable member for Barrie South Innisfil.
He can't find them. He can't find the 600 serious criminals who are non-citizens who should be deported but are roaming the streets of Canadian cities. The minister had the entire summer to come up with a plan to find these convicted non-citizen criminals who've been convicted of crimes like sexual assault. He lost them, and he can't find them. My question through you to the Prime Minister, if this level of incompetence happened at Brookfield, would he still have the confidence in that person, or would he fire them?
The Honourable Minister of Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, this year the Canada Border Service Agency will be removing 20,000 people who are not eligible to be here, Mr. Speaker. This is one of the highest in recorded Canadian history. We will continue to strengthen the border. We will continue to remove those who are not eligible to be here, Mr. Speaker. We will also be investing in 1,000 new CBSA officers, along with 1,000 new RCMP officers to make our borders stronger.
The Honourable Member for Windsor West.
Mr. Speaker, the #1 job of the Public Safety Minister is to keep Canadians safe. The Liberals promised to hire 1,000 border officers, and yet their own documents reveal they have not hired any, and have no plans to do so either. This will result in more guns and fentanyl being smuggled across borders like Windsor and Sarnia. This Public Safety Minister has failed miserably. How does the Prime Minister still have confidence in this minister? Why won't he fire him?
The Honourable Secretary of State for Combating Crime.
Mr. Speaker, this new government has made historic investments in our border, and that goes for CBSA as well, Mr. Speaker. We are in the process of starting to hire 1,000 new personnel for the CBSA and 1,000 new personnel for the RCMP. We're going to do the work necessary so that guns do not get into Canada. These are investments that are necessary, while the Conservatives, all they did was make cuts. Cuts to CBSA, cuts to the RCMP, cuts to law enforcement that needed them the most. We're going to invest in these programs to make sure that we can fight crime in Canada.
The Honourable Member for Louis Saint Laurent, 𝐥𝐿𝐴. Mr. Speaker, after 10 years of Liberal government, crime is on the rise. Violent crime has increased by 55%. Gun crimes have increased by 130%. Extortion has increased by 330%. That's a Liberal track record after 10 years. Now, the Minister of Public Safety has acknowledged that the gun buyback program has failed, that it's not working, that it's a waste of money, and that it will do nothing to keep Canadians safe. He is a minister in charge of the program. Why would the Prime Minister keep such a hypocritical minister?
L'honorable ministre de la Justice.
The Honourable Minister of Justice.
Mr. Speaker, it's difficult to accept criticism of the Conservative when it comes to issues of crime, given their complete lackadaisical approach when it comes to protecting Canadians against gun violence. When you look at their record when they were last in government, they eroded investments at the border that makes it easier to have guns illegally smuggled into this country. At every opportunity, they have voted against measures that take assault-style weapons off our streets. Mr. Speaker, we have put measures in place that ban the kinds of weapons that have used to kill RCMP officers in Moncton, that have killed people during the École Polytechnique shooting, and that will potentially kill people going forward. We need to take gun crime seriously. I wish that...
The Honourable Member for Louis Saint Laurent, 𝐥𝐿𝐴. Mr. Speaker, the Justice Minister should use his words to try to convince the Public Safety Minister, because he doesn't seem to believe that the gun buyback program works at all. That's $750 million, which will not be used for the right things. The minister himself said it. Why is the Prime Minister keeping that minister in position? How can the Prime Minister tolerate having a minister who privately acknowledged that the program doesn't work? He believes the exact opposite of what he's supposed to believe. The Honourable Secretary of State for Nature. Mr. Speaker, I survived the Polytechnique attacks. 14 women lost their lives. Then, one of the largest petitions ever was tabled in the House of Commons. Women were calling for the removal of assault-style guns from our streets. Now, over 70% of Canadians, even in rural areas, want these guns taken off our streets. This is not about hunting rifles. This is about rifles that are designed to kill. We promise to do this, and we will.